Many of you have been asking me to make a video on the topic of the weapons within the Dead Space universe, or to even go as far as to make a complete history of them. In this video I will be covering what I have found through my research of these tools and weapons, who manufactured them, along with the design of the weapon and their overall purpose within the world of Dead Space. However, for some weapons or tools are shrouded within mystery still to this day, so for some I will only be giving you a general description of them and what I could piece together from my research. Like many weapons on this list, the plasma cutters, or known within the world of Dead Space as the Cutter family, was an improvised type of weaponry in the event of a necromorph outbreak. The plasma cutter was designed and manufactured by Schofield Tools, one of the major manufacturers of mining tools. They would be responsible for creating other tools such as the Rivet Gun and the intermediate engineer rigs. The plasma cutter uses 2 alignment blades on the side and 3 lights on the front to help the user accurately cut through softer minerals. It uses an internal power source, is compact, light enough to be easily portable, and can even be used one-handed due to its light weight. It would deliver a bolt or pulse stream of ionized plasma when firing at a target. The tool is capable of firing horizontally and vertically via a flick of a switch. On impact, the bolt would penetrate the target with a focused jet of superheated matter. This would cause an intense shear effect to the material as well as a tunneling thermal expansion. If used on brittle objects, the bolts could split them open in 1 or 2 shots. Against more pliable objects, however, it would be ineffective, causing minimal damage. The cutter uses variable capacity cartridges known as plasma energy. Being highly ionized matter, it could be said that the cartridges act as a sort of battery, being ejected out of the tool when the charge is out and replaced by a new one. The contact beam is a powerful tool designed to pound and pulp hard raw materials into smaller pieces. This would be used on larger and tougher rocks with precious minerals inside of them, which would pose a significant problem to other tools. However, with its great power, the contact beam does have a significant disadvantage as well. The tool requires the user to charge it for a few seconds before releasing it upon the target. The tool would have to be charged every time the user wishes to fire it, and the tool requires the user to vent the excess heat out of the gun between uses. The contact beam is an energy projector that uses high kinetic energy. When fully charged, the tool releases a huge kinetic discharge that would destroy anything that comes into contact. The weapon trades speed and precision for damage. The tool's secondary function would be a radial ground-based shockwave. The usage of such a shockwave within mining operations is currently unknown, but I theorize that it would be used to excavate certain dig sites, using the shockwave to clear debris such as rocks and heavy clusters of dust and dirt. The handheld gravitational accelerator, also known as the Force Gun, is a short-range kinetic booster device. Its function in mining operations would be to provide blasting power beyond the capabilities of typical explosive charges, making it suitable for terraforming applications. Some uses may involve shattering rocks into smaller pieces, blasting rocks between miners in zero-gravity situations, or deflecting debris away from miners in space operations. The Force Gun shoots a wide kinetic blast of energy outwards, damaging everything around it. The closer an object is to the blast, the more damage it will have on it. The secondary fire of this tool shoots out a small grenade that will explode kinetic energy, as well as most likely used in space and deep mining operations. Other variations of this tool would shoot a highly concentrated narrow beam of kinetic energy instead of a grenade, marking it to step down from the primary fire of the contact beam. The line gun by design fires a horizontal beam of energy like the plasma cutter. However, with a wider beam, this cutting tool would be used to slice rocks and other materials into smaller pieces or strips. The tool is designed to tackle the jobs that the plasma cutter would not be able to handle. Its secondary fire is a timed mine that would be used for demolition and excavation operations. Although it does not have the fire rate of the plasma cutter, the line gun compensates for its greater damage capabilities. The flamethrower is an industrial tool used in the extraction of precious minerals and ores during mining operations. The flamethrower was originally designed to project a liquid hydrazine flame of 500 to 4000 degrees Celsius onto the layers of ice that trapped valuable ores within comets. The fuel canister is clipped to the underside of the torch via a series of metal braces, which when needed can be forcibly ejected from the tool as a makeshift fire grenade. Designed to hack and slice through rocks, the Ripper is an extremely dangerous tool. In less experienced hands, accidents are sure to follow. The Ripper's secondary fire is designed to eject incredibly sharp diamond-coated tungsten blades up to 17,000 RPM to cut through anything in front of it. The Ripper is an industrial cutting tool that can slice through nearly any material it comes across. This tool would also be used in construction of settlements such as colonies and also ships. The pulse rifle is a military-grade triple-barreled assault rifle with a rapid rate of fire and a large magazine ammunition capacity. This weapon is the standard issue service rifle of the Earth Defense Force and is also common among EarthGov security forces and corporate security officers. The pulse rifle discharges ultra-low caliber rounds at hypersonic speeds. Each round of ammunition would carry tremendous amounts of kinetic energy. These rounds are designed to squash or mushroom on impact, which will transfer their energy to the target, causing immense trauma. Upon firing on a live target, the rounds would impact the flesh of the target, liquefying tissues and fracturing bones. With each due to the hypersonic speeds the rounds are shot at, with the amount of kinetic energy that is transferred upon impact, making the pulse rifle one of the most overused weapons in the Dead Space universe. The first variant of the pulse rifle would be used in the shipboard combat operations, often by corporate security officers and EDF naval marine personnel. The barrels could also switch to a 90-degree angle and would start spinning and could be fired all out while in this mode. This mode would have been used rarely, perhaps in situations while a soldier could be surrounded on all sides. Other variants of the pulse rifle would have a grenade launcher or a shotgun replacing the 90-degree barrel spin secondary fire. The Divet is a compact pistol with a fully automatic firing mode. The weapon fires laser-sliced slugs composed of lead alloy and shoots 3 slugs simultaneously in the secondary firing mode. The pistol can also fire armor-piercing rounds, which was the weapon Kendra from Dead Space used to kill Dr. Kyne. The Divet is usually used by localized security forces within colonies, ships, or planet crackers. The arc welding gun is an engineering tool designed by Schofield Tools for repairing structural damage of any platform. It is a preferred tool in comparison to the rivet gun, the latter of which is used when an arc welder is unavailable. The arc welder is roughly the size of a force gun and fires a concentrated bolt of electricity which is capable of arcing to nearby regions. Its secondary use fires a concentrated ball of electricity. It was most likely utilized for engineering purposes for welding together pieces of metal. The 935 Bonder Rivet Gun is a tool used by Concordian's Extraction Corporation employees in deep space mining operations. The second firing mode of the rivet gun was to charge up the power to shoot through more dense materials. By using railgun technology, the rivet gun fires high-velocity rivets that can nail items to each other over long distances. The Javelin Gun is a telemetric survey tool manufactured by Timson Tools, designed to fire titanium spikes or javelins at high speeds with extreme accuracy and piercing power. Upon firing, the projectile will travel infinitely until it hits a surface, to which it will remain planted and cannot be removed by any means. The alternative firing mode electrifies the titanium spike, causing electricity to arc off the spike. The Javelin Gun would be used for destruction of asteroids, or as a diagnostic tool to analyze minerals within solid rock. The alternative firing mode could also be seen to be used to provide temporary power for certain outlets. The Seeker rifle is a powerful sniper rifle, capable of delivering long-range fire. Its secondary function provides an enhanced zoom, thus allowing an even greater precision and damage. There isn't much known on this weapon, but would have been mostly used by EarthGov to assassinate certain targets. The sniper qualities within this weapon would also allow assassins to eliminate those targets through discreetness. The Detonator deploys laser trip mines that will stick onto any flat surface, be it a floor, a wall, or a ceiling. If the laser sensors are disrupted, the set mines will detonate violently. The detonator would have been used by EarthGov soldiers to lock down certain areas of interest to keep out intruders to those sectors. However, the weapon does have a disadvantage. If someone were to throw an object through the detection lasers, the explosive device would be triggered. The secondary function of this weapon would be used to disarm the device. The Extractor is a heavy-duty tool designed for extracting core samples, described as being able to penetrate 65% of all known elements. The primary fire mode fires 4 plasma beams in a diamond configuration composed of 4 separate beams at 90-degree angles to each other. The alternative firing mode compresses all 4 beams together into a continuous stream. The heavy pulse rifle has all of the abilities in its standard firing mode that the normal pulse rifle possesses. However, there are a couple of differences, one being that the rifle has unlimited ammunition and has a higher rate of fire than the previous model. However, the weapon can overheat and cannot be used while being cooled down. Once cooled, the weapon can be fired once again. The design of the heavy pulse rifle looks to be a light machine gun variant to the assault rifle variants of the pulse rifle. The SHB-1 plasma saw is designed for dissection of heavy-duty materials in both on- and off-site locations. The saw blade is used within mining operations and excavations. This tool is a redesign of the plasma saw from Dead Space Downfall to be a more compact and easier to handle, requiring the user to hold the tool in one hand rather than two. Featuring a variable rotary system of superconducting teeth, hundreds of joules of electrical energy per second flow through a plasma sheath, riding magnetic fields. Upon contact with solid matter, electrothermal disruption causes intense localized warping and heating, cleaving with a torch. To prevent binding or dangerous vaporization that might occur during prolonged operation using a single blade, the SHB-1 employs a series of moving teeth. This feature scoops out the burning material to make room for further cutting until the plasma saw eventually breaks through. This also allows cooling of the superconductors, reducing wear. A similar tool is used by Michael Altman in 2214. While being called a plasma cutter, it is described as a two-handed, close-range cutting weapon that uses a plasma blade. It is possibly a common predecessor to both the plasma saw and the plasma cutter. The bone cutter functions similarly to the plasma saw, but is a one-handed device in comparison. The bone cutter, like its name, suggests it's a surgical tool used for carefully slicing through bones, and may have been used in precise amputation operations. Its power source is currently unknown, but it could be said that the device would be charged between usages. The plasma saw is a mining tool turned weapon. Once activated, the saw projects a stream of suppressed plasma that takes the shape of a blade, similar to a chainsaw's, that when in use will remain active and extended until the saw is deactivated. The saw has a flashlight affixed to the top of it, and bears a vague resemblance to the plasma cutter. The plasma saw's original purpose would have been to carve through materials that other tools may not have been able to penetrate. The arc rifle is a weapon used by the Marines in Dead Space Aftermath to subdue the survivors of the Aegis incidents. The rifle has two firing modes, one to shoot normal rounds and another to fire arc energy designed to paralyze the user's target, like a taser. The type of rifle would not have been part of the common commission within the EarthGov military force. These weapons would have been given to special task forces. The design of the arc rifle looks similar to the Seeker rifle, however it also has a resemblance to the heavy pulse rifle, perhaps a variant in between the two. The Rocksaw's design looks to be a futuristic pickaxe, perhaps used in the same way. Being a single handheld energy cutter, most mining crew members in colonies would use these within excavating areas and mining ores and minerals within cave systems. The front end is a standard metal pick with serrated edges, while the back end can be folded out to create a laser for slicing and cutting various materials. It can also be seen to be a smaller prototype of the plasma saw. These tools would be weaponized within necromorph outbreaks by individuals that were stationed at those locations to ensure their lengthy survival through the horrific events of Dead Space. I have scoured the internet in trying to find more information on these weapons or tools, but sadly the records I was looking for seem to not exist at this time. Maybe when the remake comes out we will have more lore on these weapons and tools, but until then this is the best I could do, so I apologize for that. As for myself, I was kind of expecting to find more lore behind these weapons and tools in the Dead Space universe. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the analysis of the weapons in this video, then hit the video up with a like rating. Comment your thoughts below and I look forward to hearing from you. Sign up to join the British Alliance today by subscribing and ringing the notification bell for updates on future content, streams and community posts. And if you're feeling even more like a champion of the British Alliance, then become a member today by hitting the join button on the channel page and choose what you want to get out of your purchase. And I will see all of you on the front lines, and have a good one.